Bison Nation. Welcome to Inside the Herd. I'm your host, Jeremy Jorgenson. This is episode 1 of a show we're going to bring to you during the fall here to keep you up to date on Bison Athletics. And no better place to start than right at the top. Here's Director of Athletics, Matt Larsen.
Hi, Bison Nation. Matt Larsen, Director of Athletics here at NDSU, and we're excited and looking forward to the football game on October 3rd against Central Arkansas. A few reminders as we get closer to the game. Kickoff time is at 2:30. This year we moved to mobile ticketing for access of entry. For those of you who don't have access to a smartphone, feel free to call our ticket office for printed home or a hard ticket options. Parking lots will open 2.5 hours prior, no tailgating this year. And we're also opening up the doors 2 hours earlier to allow folks to be able to physical distance as they enter the Fargo Dome. Masks will be required, and not just upon entry. For the entirety of the football games, there'll be plenty of hand wash stations throughout the facility. And we ask your cooperation for the safety of all of our spectators, fans, players, and staff. For those of you who can't join us on October 3rd in person in the Fargo Dome, there'll be plenty of options to follow the Bison, either on Bison 1660, on NBC North Dakota, and also on ESPN+. So again, we're excited. Our guys are practicing hard, looking forward to the game on October 3rd, and we hope to see you there. Thanks again, and go Bison.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, we have a football game to talk about. The Bison are going to take on Central Arkansas October 3rd, and I can tell you right now, the players and the coaches are excited to play this football game.
For Bison Nation to have a game on the schedule, you have all these negative times, and now it's something that is positive. There is a buzz, there is an excitement, there's a ton of great energy within our campus, our community, our city, our state to rally around the Bison and be in the Fargo Dome on October 3rd.
Kristen and I, our family moved here a year and a half ago, and immediately upon arrival to Fargo, we realized that this community and support for Bison football is just, it's different, it's unique. And you know, when we started to find that our games and our season was in flux, you could feel that in the community, that the uncertainty of Bison football being played this fall. And now that we know that we have a game on the schedule, we're gonna have fans in the stands, we're gonna have an opportunity to raise a banner and crank up the Fargo Dome. You can feel the buzz, you can feel the energy.
High Point Networks helps companies buy and use technology. Your success is our success. From network infrastructure to unified communications, data centers to security, we have the experts to help. Our relationships are built on trust, and the foundation of our solutions is service, here to maximize your company's resources. High Point Networks, always connected.
COVID-19 has provided a lot of challenges for sports and everybody in the country. There's other issues going on as well. Our Bison men's basketball team players and coaches got together to discuss this.
We're coming together right now, getting different, diversity and inclusion statements from each university, and then we're going to try to create one for the entire Summit League, right, to kind of hold us all accountable and to kind of segue us into the future.
Decided that we're going to really focus on creating change through voter registration and encouraging our student athletes and coaches to not only vote but to educate themselves throughout the process, learn about the candidates and be able to make educated, informed decisions for themselves.
I challenge all of us, myself, our staff, all these guys. We have a social media platform, we have a platform as a coach, but also most importantly, there's going to be an opportunity to do the next right thing. And that's our real challenge. When that opportunity comes, to square somebody up and say that's not right, to divert a situation, to educate somebody, I think that's the real impact that we can have.
We're not going to make a change this whole world in the next 24 hours. That's just unreasonable and unheard of and not going to happen. But it's that day by day, Coach said, making the next right decision, and that's what makes change. And it might be really small. We might not see it in our lifetime or their lifetime or people, even our brother's lifetime, but eventually that change will be made.
Just be a leader. Just show what type of person you are. Obviously, we're a minority here in Fargo, but just continuing to educate people, whether it's on campus or out in the community.
Like, I'm from Minneapolis, so with the George Floyd thing, it's kind of like it's starting to hit more close to home. So, like, where it happened at is literally, like, down the street from our mother's job. So it's like, who who was to say it could be somebody that I, personally knew.
So you heard about Jacob Blake and George Floyd, but there's so many other instances that happen all the time that you just don't hear about on the news.
Sad and as tragic as those cases are, the noise, the education, the voices being outspoken, that's something that hopefully we can be a positive change for. And that's what we've talked about as a group. We have a platform every day before practice to be heard. As we get deeper into these, I think it's important to have a stance and to be unified in what we do, but also to be proactive and to actually make that change, not just talk about it, walk it. And that's what I'm really encouraging our guys to do. And again, for me, and it's just the irony, Alexis, to being in this locker room, we don't see a lot of those things in the locker room. We don't see any of that, to be honest with you. But we understand that there's a whole world outside of this locker room, and we need to do our part to bring what's in this locker room outside of here.
Certainly a good conversation to have right there. Hey, the volleyball team, they don't have a fall season right now, but they are certainly coming up with fun ways to keep themselves occupied.
The Bison Race is something that we've started with our program. We're 3 years into it now. A series of challenges and problem solving that we kind of put our team and players through during our preseason to just build some team culture and give them a little bit of fun and be able to see some things throughout campus. To allow our team to kind of compete a little bit and really work on some team bonding, whether it's individually or as partners or as a group. Baby. Getting them to know and understand NDSU, but also face some challenges and adversity along the way. I'm sure they dislike some of our clues and the confusingness of it at times, but it's fun to be able to see how dedicated and focused and competitive they are. And you get to see them in a little bit different sense rather than just on the court and or in the classroom. And so we're able to bring out a different side of them and kind of create a little bit more of an excitement.
In green, we have KT and Ava. In yellow, we have Lex and Taylor. In pink, Emily and Bree. In orange, Bella and Alex. In purple, Kaylee and Syra. In blue, Maggie and Allie. And finally, in red, we have Allie and Kelly.
Bunk bed. Yeah, different. Is there a building called Reed? There is. Humpty Dumpty fell off a rock. Now his family is collecting his stocks. We thought it was Stockbridge Hall, but we can't figure it out. So we're gonna follow Bella. Go Bison!
Move H2O unless you are God and you can walk on
Avatar Airbender. Bella! What? Bella! Bella, this is not a fountain.
It's water though!
Bella!
Bro, I'm so good at Sudoku.
Are you gonna check them so no one cheats? Yep. Ooh, word scramble. That's how my brain works. I'm not good at anything.
Oh, wait. Are you good at word scrambles?
No.
Okay.
One country, one city, 8 blocks, 6 challenges. Team Green, you are the official winners of the Bison Race!
What can be done today to create a better way of life? We can end hunger, homelessness, and violence. Acts of kindness, compassion, and teamwork bring us together and keep our community safe. Every day at Gate City Bank, we're building a better tomorrow and a better way of life.
Our graduate assistant, Alexis Pitchford, caught up with Bison women's basketball. They're doing some great things, and they're also here to have a conversation about what's going on in the country.
A Black person opens up about their experiences. That's never easy for anyone, male or female.
As a non-minority person, when you hear those stories, listening but being able to say, okay, that is happening to a lot of people, like this is wrong, there's something wrong with this, and not just saying, well, it's not happening in my world. No, it's happening, and it's happening consistently around you if you open your eyes and look.
It breaks your heart, just talking about it right now, my heart's like racing.
For me, I kind of got emotional, talking about it, but I think it's good that we can sit and have this conversation with our teammates so that they have a better understanding of what us as, African American women, go through stuff that they never had to.
When you see someone that you love or care for going through something that hurts them, it kind of just changes the way that you view it a little bit.
Where you would think a normal person is safe or deemed safe in your own house, you would find that to be a secure and safe place, and you're no longer safe.
So basically it's my job to go out into the community, to go out on campus, to basically educate the community about diversity and inclusion. So for example, right now I'm in partnership with the NAACP and I'm contacting people of color throughout our community to vote this fall.
Both NBA and WNBA, and then it expanded even further into the MLB, they took a united front, and as a group, one voice makes a huge difference and a huge impact. And I think that's something that, regardless of what it is that we plan to do as a university, as a country, as a sport, like whatever it is, as long as it's unified and we can make a bigger sound, bigger movement, that makes the biggest difference.
First Black female to coach in the NBA, or first female athletic director. Just still hearing that first anything in 2020 may seem a lot. I guess kind of what goes through your mind when you see these headlines that are still happening.
About time.
It's also good for younger African American women, little kids, to see, oh, I can do that. Like, there's no reason why that can't be me. So that's something that is great to see. And, you just don't want to kill a kid's dreams.
Growing up, of course, I always knew the Diana Taurasi's, the Lisa Leslie's, those guys. But honestly, I don't know if I truly looked up to anyone. I just knew that I had a love for the sport and I was going to run with it.
All I can think of is the college days. I would watch college basketball. Like, Candace Parker was everything, but it was at Tennessee. Like, I was a Tennessee Bulls fan and a UConn fan. Those are the only things that you could really watch on TV. The WNBA wasn't really covered nearly as much as it is, and now it's so accessible and it's growing so much exponentially that more younger kids are having the opportunity to see an 80% African American league in the forefront.
What barriers do women have to face to progress in the sports world that maybe a man may not have to face?
We're immediately going to be discriminated against based on our experience. Well, it's not men's basketball. Can you even coach men? Can you interact with them? Can you handle the roughness or the more physicality of the game when it's basketball at the end of the day?
So you've heard from football, basketball, and volleyball. Our soccer program also lost their fall schedule, but they're doing some things to keep themselves busy as well, and there are some great personalities on this roster.
Oh my goodness.
I think it would be Lauren Rozak. It has to be. It must be all over her camera roll.
I would say Lauren Brozak. I would also say Maddie Bernstein for that. Her Instagram is full of selfies.
Paige, because she enjoys TikTok and so she just enjoys selfies.
100% Paige goalie.
Paige goalie for sure.
Paige definitely takes the most selfies because she is addicted to her phone.
That's all from this episode of Inside the Herd. You can keep up with the Bison on gobison.com. Also keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.